Operation about this specific gym. We've had concurrent training since about '83, but we've been this gym and the gym before this have been established for the past 12 years. That's okay. We moved here about 9 months ago from the location we were at for 11 years.
Always in Montreal?
Always in Montreal.
Having the event in town is a good.
Well, it's definitely picked things up. Well, we've always been supportive of MMA because we had guys who were training from the very first. I cornered a guy named Philip Gelinas. He was teaching jiu-jitsu for me, and even though in his newest biography has him going from Brazil to Toronto, the only reason he met Toronto is because he came to Montreal first. Yeah, so.
The IFL now?
Yeah, he just won the IFL title a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, or he won it a while ago and he defended it. Anyway, but Wagner was here, and so we've always been supportive of the TKO and other events that have been. And so for us, I started off doing Japanese karate early in 1967. That was before most of us, including me, were born, I'm sure. Anyway, so we did that, and then I started getting involved in more stuff. I mean, it's not like, oh, I knew in the advance what's going to happen, but I just wanted to do any martial art, every martial art. And so I started doing Japanese karate. Then I started. I met one of my teachers was a Hawaiian Filipino, and he introduced me to stuff.
Well, they gave him that. I don't know if it's
and that was interesting because they had different
Spartans get into it.
And then from there, he said, as he retired in 1980, he said, "Oh, watch out for the old men with the sticks. Watch out. To me, that means you look for them." And so I started, and I met some people. I met some people who were in New York doing it, and I'm still with them. And it's the key to see a Cali system. And we did a lot of full contact stick fighting, so it kind of made you open your eyes, because everybody said, oh, martial arts are so dangerous. If I hit you once, I'd kill you. Well, that's BS, right? Like, oh, I'm going to hit you at 4 o'clock and at this point, and you're going to die. Yeah, in about 100 years. That's pretty true, right? So that's the problem. So I started doing that, and through then, actually, through my Cali teacher, I met Mr. Nasato, because that was about 1982, and I was training. He was just starting to doing his seminars, and so I would cross paths with him at Cali events or other events, seminars he did over the years. And then through that, he introduced me to, I started doing JKD with him, and Silat, and shoot wrestling, and a whole lot of other things. Shoot wrestling was something that was coming around at that time, but it was really big in Japan, and people at the Asano Academy were doing it, but nobody equated it with MMA. And then, of course, around that same time, the Gracies moved to Los Angeles, and they were just challenging everybody, right? They'd go into a school and say, I challenge you, I will beat you, Tell you, my friend, I want to beat you, I'm going to tap you out, okay? So then, at that time, I was starting to do capoeira, and so you started realizing, okay, there's a really, really big world of martial arts out there. And then the UFC started taking off, and of course at the beginning it was different because it was like really style against style. Like, I still remember that poor karate guy, on the floor with his leg kicking out, like he'd been hit by a car. I didn't feel like, oh God, and all the other stuff. I mean, the guys it was really no rules. Now, of course, it's evolved into a much more organized, safe thing, but in those days it was pretty rough and wild. And so that we started doing more. We've never really left any of the things we didn't do anymore behind, but we couldn't, that's why we actually have a gym this size, because right now we do Muay Thai and boxing, and we do Cali, and we have a guy doing Silat here, and we do Kajikembo, and we do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and we do Olympic wrestling, and what else do we do, Mike? Do you have anything else?
Did you mention?
And JKD, we do JKD.
Oh yes, of course. Basically,
I'm not allowed to say that because we don't have the copyright.
Basically, if it hurts, it's taught here.
Which one would you say is your deepest discipline here?
See, that's the whole thing. That's what's difficult about martial arts, because really what that means is that you're basically having sort of say, okay, you have 8 girlfriends, which is your favorite. You never say that stuff. It's not like you. And the thing is, realistically, I mean, there's some things that I like doing better, and only because I seem to do them better. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I like them more. It's just that sometimes when you have a greater facility or something, and therefore you spend more time on it, because of course your ego will want you to do things that you do well rather than things you don't do that well. You know, your mind should tell you that you should train in the things you don't do as well, but then everybody would see you doing bad things all the time and they think you were no good. But that's how this gym is, and in about, maybe five years ago, after Bagney left in 2002, I found out on the internet that he was teaching in Toronto. I said, oh, nice guys. Anyway, so we had no jiu-jitsu teacher, no black belt jiu-jitsu teacher here for a couple of years. But then I was called up one day, and the brother of Fabio Hollanda, who was living in Montreal and doing his master's degree in business administration, called me up and said, hello, I'm doing my brother in town, you know, I'm going to do a seminar, because he had actually booked a seminar somewhere else, but the school shut down. So, pocket of opportunity.
We may have actually put him out of business.
Yeah, who knows? Anyway, so Brazilian top team, black belt, who just finished third place in the World Championship the year before. And so I said, okay, great. So he came down, and you know, we seemed to hit it off. He didn't speak much English, so we communicated well. Anyway, so what happened is he was there, and then but we didn't get along. He came and trained, did a seminar, and trained us for about a week. And then he came back a year later and did the same thing again. And then we touched base and said, yeah, we'd like to have him here. So I applied for a work visa. I got it. And then he's been here ever since.
What was his name?
Fabio Hollanda.
Oh, this Fabio. Okay, yeah.
And since then, the interesting thing about Fabio is that everybody thinks, oh, you know, these guys are teachers, they're really good, or they're not good teachers. You really don't know how good they are until it's too late.
Sure.
But we were very fortunate because he'd already had taught a good dozen world champions in Brazil. Like his wife was a blue belt world champion, and she finished second place as a brown belt. He had this other guy, Ulysses Roca, who went back as a brown belt to Brazil with 2 weeks of video training. In other words, he was playing his video games for 2 weeks before he went, and he came second place in the Copa do Mundo. And the only guy he lost to was by one takedown in a double overtime. You know, if you can motivate other people, and people say, wow, you know, it could be anybody. I said, yeah, but it wasn't. It was him. So we were very fortunate because he's a highly motivating guy, and around that time, you know, George has been training with us, and you know, he was with us, and then he went and did a little bit of stuff with Gracie Springs in New York, and then the nonsense happened with Matt Serra, and so he decided that you know, we made arrangements. He came back here, and that this is where he's been doing jiu-jitsu since then.
Okay, well,
But but it's not. I mean, he came here not just because that. We've had Pat Corte training here. I mean, there's we have. Nabil Kitib is in the ring right now. He just beat Gideon Ray at the HFC about a month ago. We have Samuel Goulet just fought and beat somebody at the TKO down in Aruba last night. We have that guy over there on the left-hand side. That's his name is Sean Locke. He won Copa do Mundo, purple belt open class, and hey, Martin. And the guy with him is a guy named Blue Paris, who is a very good nationally rated judo black belt, but he's done some MMA as well. So I mean, this is not really an MMA day, but it's kind of like an open Saturday training. So this is what we do here. And most of the time on a Saturday when we don't have seminars, we would have classes running on one side, and then the MMA guys would get together and just train. You know, they come in together. I mean, they train the other week, but this is like an open camp training, so they can do it all.
and how many members do you have?
Doing what?
Students, total students?
You know something? We don't really know.
I'd say a couple of hundred.
I'd say a couple of thousand, but I'd be lying.
Yeah.
I'd say a couple of hundred.
But we like.